If you're a 49ers fan, this is one of those moments where everything suddenly feels different. Just a few weeks ago, it felt like the season was slipping, like the margin for error was gone. Now, all of a sudden, the entire NFC picture has flipped, and the 49ers are right back in the middle of it, with something real to play for. That's why what's happening right now matters so much more than just one Monday night game. The door is wide open, but only if this team handles business starting now. What makes this stretch so wild is how quickly the conversation has changed. One result elsewhere in the NFC reshuffled the standings, and suddenly the path is clear. Win out, and the 49ers don't just take the division. They put themselves in control of the entire conference. Home field advantage, the #1 seed, the kind of position that completely changes how the postseason looks. And it's crazy to say that after where this team was not long ago. Be honest with me for a second. Did you really think we'd be back here talking about the top seed again? Drop a yes or no in the comments because I'm genuinely curious where your confidence level is right now. But here's the thing. None of that future stuff matters if this team doesn't take care of the present. Everything starts with this upcoming matchup, and that's what makes it so important. This isn't just another game on the schedule, it's the game that determines whether all of these playoff scenarios stay alive or start to fade. Again, momentum is fragile in the NFL, and the 49ers are finally starting to feel like they're trending in the right direction at the perfect time. This is also where staying locked in really matters, because the updates coming out right now are directly tied to how this team is going to look, not just in this game, but over the final stretch. If you want to stay ahead of every roster move, every injury update, and every shift in the playoff picture, make sure you're subscribed and notifications are on. We're pushing toward 1,000 subscribers, and every single one helps this channel grow and keep covering the team the right way. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, hit the like button too. It really does make a difference. When you look at where this defense has been lately, the biggest issue hasn't been effort or scheme, it's been availability. The 49ers have been trying to survive with key pieces missing, and you've felt it, especially against the run and when it comes to consistent pressure. That's why the updates coming out right now are such a big deal, because help is finally starting to arrive, even if it's in a limited capacity to begin with. Getting linebackers back on the field changes the entire structure of this defense. One of the most noticeable absences showed up in run defense, where gaps weren't being filled as cleanly, and tackles weren't happening at the line of scrimmage the way we're used to seeing. The return of a physical presence in the middle instantly raises the floor of this unit. Even limited practices at this stage of the season matter, because they signal that these players are trending toward being available when it counts the most. What's encouraging is how these returns fit together. It's not just one guy coming back, it's multiple pieces across the front seven. That allows the defense to rotate again, to keep legs fresh, and to stop asking players to do more than they're built for. When you're not constantly scrambling to plug holes, everything becomes cleaner, from gap discipline to pursuit angles. That alone can be the difference between giving up long, demoralizing drives and forcing punts. You've probably noticed how much tougher this defense looks when it can dictate terms instead of reacting. That starts with having bodies available who can actually set the tone. Pairing returning linebackers with the players who have been holding things together creates balance again, and balance is what this defense has been missing. It's not about suddenly becoming dominant overnight, it's about getting back to playing sound, physical football that forces offenses to earn every yard. Let me know what you think in the comments. Which defensive return excites you the most right now? And quick yes or no, do you feel like the defense is finally trending upward at the right time? If you like getting these kinds of defensive breakdowns and want more of them as we head into the stretch run, make sure you're subscribed and hit the like button. We're building toward 1,000 subscribers, and your support keeps these updates coming. The defensive line has probably been the toughest group to evaluate lately, because on the surface, the numbers don't always look great. Fewer sacks, less consistent pressure, and some moments where opposing quarterbacks look a little too comfortable. But when you dig deeper, a lot of that comes back to who hasn't been available rather than a lack of effort or ability. Losing elite pass rushers forces everyone else into bigger roles, and that's not always a fair fight over a full game. What matters right now is that the cavalry is starting to come back. Even rotational defensive linemen returning to the mix can completely change how this group functions. It allows for more flexibility, more situational pass rushing, and fewer snaps where guys are clearly gassed late in drives. That's when mistakes happen. That's when quarterbacks escape or find receivers downfield. Getting reinforcements back helps prevent those breakdowns. It's also important not to get too caught up in sack totals alone. Pressure shows up in different ways. Forcing quicker throws, collapsing the pocket, and making quarterbacks move off their spot all matter, even if they don't always end in sacks. Players coming back who have already shown they can contribute in those areas give this line a much higher ceiling than what we've seen recently. Availability has been the real enemy, not talent. There's also something to be said for experience at this point in the season. Veterans who have been in big games understand how to pace themselves and how to pick their spots. As these players work their way back into the rotation, you're going to see a more disciplined and controlled pass rush. That's especially important heading into games where 1 or 2 plays can swing everything. I want to know how you feel about yards do you think we see in this game? Take care of business, and suddenly the 49ers aren't just in the playoffs, they're in control of where the road goes. Playing meaningful football at home changes everything. It's the kind of advantage that can swing an entire postseason. But none of it is guaranteed. And that's what makes this moment so intense. This team now controls its own destiny, and that's all you can really ask for at this point in the season. The injuries are starting to ease, the offense is gaining confidence, and the defense is slowly getting its foundation back. It's not about being perfect. It's about being ready when it matters most. And right now, it feels like the 49ers are setting themselves up for that chance. I want to hear from you. Where were you mentally after that loss a few weeks ago? Did you still believe? Or did this turnaround surprise you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you've stuck with this channel through the ups and downs, make sure you're subscribed and hit like on the video. We're pushing hard toward 1,000 subscribers, and every single one of you plays a role in getting us there. We'll keep you covered with every update, every injury report, and every shift in the playoff picture as it happens. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.